Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Simrigs.com Sprint Series Round 5 from Paul Ricard, or the French car park as I call it. It is a split blue and split red this evening, and it is chocolate round, so really excited for that as well. A big welcome to the one and only Jaden Rondinella and Lindsay Muddle, who are joining me in the box. Top of the evening, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, hello.
How are we feeling for this evening?
Well, I'm ready for a great race. Not my favourite track, but it's looking like it's going to shape up to be a good race. And I'm also interested to see all these beautiful chocolate liveries that we get to debate about.
Yeah, my eyes are going to be on the chocolate liveries as well. Obviously, I was also in the box for split green last night, so let's see if these guys in blue can raise the bar, but also raise the bar livery-wise too.
Definitely, it's going to be looking forward to that as well, as we are out in qualifying at the moment. 10-minute session, but the guys are just heading out on their warm-up lap as we speak. We do have a championship as well. It is round 5 of the championship, so really important now to sort of keep an eye on that, and I will get my championship points up when I can find them. But I believe it is Austin McNeil leading the way. He's had a great season, and I'm looking forward to seeing how he goes this evening.
Way too good of a season, boss. So McNeil holding I believe he's won back-to-back races, and it might be on, if he does well tonight, another one back-to-back.
That's correct. He has won back-to-back races. Joshua Holmes there in second. Bruno Ellis there in third. The one and only JC there in fourth. Logan Burton is the lead silver driver there in fifth position in the Big Bad Mustang. Ashley Johnson and Eason Lele are your silver top three. And then Josh McLaughlin, Neil Wood and Nathan Monks are your Pro-Am leaders, and then Joe Williams and Giles Stratford are your AM class. So, but round 5, so it is time to make a move if you can, as we are looking at Austin McNeil on screen at the moment in that absolutely stunning Cherry Ripe livery. Top mark, sir. Cherry Ripe is one of the greatest chocolate bars in the world.
No.
Yeah, just no.
Look, everyone's allowed incorrect opinions. It's okay.
That is almost as bad as a Turkish delight opinion as we see.
Speaking of Turkish delight.
Oh wow, segue.
Horrible chocolate. Horrible.
JC, what are you doing? Turkish delight? No, just no.
My eyes might burn by the end of this if we have to look at this GTR for too long.
You should have a good race tonight, though. I'm expecting. Oh, now here we go. Whittaker's. Now we're talking. Whittaker's and Josh Holmes here is actually on a pretty good lap here at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, running the best racing number in the world, the one and only 24. He comes through just such a flowing circuit, this one. It is the French car park, though. It's got more versions than Final Fantasy. Heading down the long Mistral Straight. Of course, named after the wind that blows in France. And heading down to easily the best corner on the track, Signs. It's probably the only corner I enjoy on this track, actually. As we jump on board now with Holmes. Look at this, flat out. Look at that, 230 kilometres an hour across the apex, if you don't mind. And we brake very hard into double D. Just running out a little bit wide, then you want to back to second, cut it across the apex. Now into the most famous corner on the track. Of course, this is Virage de Bendor. Of course, named after the greatest rejoiner in the world, the one and only Bender. And we punch it really hard. The really important rear drive traction is so important on this track because it does absolutely no elevation whatsoever as well. So a lot of flat surfaces, which means mechanical grip is so important. This lap is turning into an absolute rips and order from Holmes here. This should pop him up to at least third, maybe second. Goes to third, good lap. Monks, though, leading the way with a 53.022, if you don't mind.
Yeah, Nathan has been putting in a load of practice. I have been watching him all the past couple of weeks during the break. He has been on France non-stop, just sitting here on Paul Ricard in that Mustang, and he is not here to mess around tonight.
You wouldn't expect. And the Aston, which is probably the worst car on the straights at the moment, but the best car for sectors 1 and 3 is something that I'll be looking forward to watching tonight. How well the Aston drivers can get that car around the track to put it in a good position for the straights, which is where they'll get obviously overtaken by every other car.
So some early surprise in qualifying. McNeil, our championship leader, currently down there in 8th position. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Of course, it is one of those rounds where it's 2 races, 2 30-minute races, and we'll have our super qualifying course coming up after race 1. And if you finish in the top 10, it'll be a reverse grid, and then positions 11 down will fight it out in the second qualifying session for those positions on the grid, as we are looking at Sweeney here at the moment, part of the Triple J organisation, and he goes up to 6th position. Not a bad lap there. Very good lap.
Very nice lap.
Oh,
Define with that.
Yes.
You must be enjoying this, all the Whittaker's liveries.
Oh, yes. Whittaker's is... Oh, the peanut slab. Now we're talking. That is magnificent. Of course, Whittaker's one of the greatest chocolates in the world, and the peanut slab is absolutely magnificent. Not as good as the coconut. I will say the coconut is the top notch of Whittaker's, but, of course, our famous chocolate maker from across the ditch in New Zealand, Whittaker's, handmade, apparently.
Oh, it's a fun way to make it. I don't know. great way to make it over there in New Zealand. Yep, handmade. I can't see the lap time, so we don't know what the delta is on this lap, but it looks like it's going to be a good lap. 53.022 though is not a lacking time, especially for a Mustang, which doesn't perform the greatest, I believe, in the 3rd sector, but still that's almost a 52. So I do believe if some of these drivers that you'd expect to be up at the top who have been running it for a while, I'm expecting 52, and I want my 52, please.
Well, speaking of 52s, well, Nathan is a 10th up as he heads down the Mistral with that big V8 underneath him. And now the most crucial part of the lap, the hardest part of the lap, Sector 3. This is where the Mustang tends to struggle. But if Nathan can finish this lap, he would be on for a very, very nice lap time, as if he wasn't already. But he makes a little bit of a mistake there on the entry. But now into Bousset. He goes holding all the way through the right, and then the run to Bendor is now just get it back across late on the brakes, dive it towards the inside, take it back out, get down to 1st gear for the rotation, and then just smoothly through this flat out right, holding it tight, and then now into Latour for the penultimate corner of the racetrack, and then now into Virage Dupont, flick it across 1st gear, and then now the very, very short run to the line, at least compared to the Mistral. He gained a lot of time on entry, lost out just a bit after it, but it is a 52.985, and very impressive there from Nathan Monks.
I would be happy if they ended qualifying now. That is a 52, and I asked for it, and I did receive, and yep, that is a transaction that has worked out well for me. And Ashlyn Reynolds actually qualifying in this race. Ashlyn Reynolds has been starting from the back for a few of the races, I believe. Just for fun, I guess. But I don't know if the Mercedes would perform that well here to be able to run it from the back and get up to the top. But yes, a 52 at PR should be an instant pro tag. So that Pro-Am, I would be expecting to see maybe a little bit of an increase in their... Yeah,
I'd happen to think that he'd probably end up in silver after this because, I mean, Nathan did go on this track every single day for like multiple hours, so that's where that pace comes from. Normally he's not that quite that quick. I mean, I've been racing him in and out this season. Obviously normally I'm racing, but I've had a problem with my sim rig, and Nathan just he looms around that mid to top of silver pace, so not quite a pro tag, but the 52 definitely doesn't help his case there.
No, you wouldn't expect it to. I'm still interested to see that's a McCullough into 8th and Walsh into 9th. That is a little bit of a touch in the qualifying. Bit of an accident. Probably wasn't watching after he finished his lap, which is fair enough. That is it. Yep, that's a good lap time. Fourth for Ashton Reynolds at the moment. So we still don't have McNeil up in the top 8 at least. I'm wondering if he's not able to get that Lambo around at the moment. Lambo? Yeah, Lambo around at the moment. I'm right about the car. Currently almost dropping the time, so I'm guessing a mistake was there. As we have finished the qualifying, Ashton Reynolds trying to make up that time to maybe get up another position. I don't think it's going to happen though in these last few corners unless he can really pull it off. But yeah, this will be the people. Everyone will be running their final qualifying laps who are still out. Gaining a little bit of time on that last turn. But it is not enough to put him up a position. So that's fourth place for Ashton Reynolds. Monk's doing what seems to be, I believe, another lap, which means we might even get a faster time. We've got the Bentley coming around. Not a horrible time, 54.6. Currently 0.2 up. 54.2, that's not bad. And there is the Turkish Delight with 53, almost 53.5. That Turkish Delight livery just makes me want to vomit.
Yeah,
Just thinking about the taste. Oh.
Yeah, it hurts my soul, but we will stay with JC as he heads through Bendor and then the run through the rest of the final sector flat out through this section. The GTR, whenever it's on the throttle, it's good. When you're cornering it, though, it isn't particularly the greatest, but JC always making it look quick there up the front inside the top 10. Now get it through Virage du Pont. And now, oh no, he went a bit deep there and lost all the time he was up. And race control is just on an absolute lying streak there. But there we go, JC, just about an improvement, but not the lap he would have wanted.
I can agree with Lily. The track does look like a bottle opener. But that is our qualifying done, which means we can actually see our list of the top 10 and the order that it's all in, which I believe, if I'm correct, it starts with the Mustang of Monks, which is, I believe, his first podium.
Yes, correct. So Monk's in the big band. 2 Mustangs off the front row. That beautiful Logitech Mustang. It's absolutely gorgeous, that thing. Then we've got the Whitaker's Lambo. Yes. Almost Violet Crumble like that one. I like it. And Violet Crumble is greater than Crunchy. Don't at me. And we've got the Yes, there we go. Thank you. And a couple of really nice. The Valvoline Ferrari, of McCullough, one of my personal favourites. And there is the Abomination. That's the Abomination for this round. It is the Turkish Delight car, but it does have a very quick operator behind the wheel. Go get him, JC. There's the 12.
Love it.
The mid version of Flake.
Don't like Turkish Delight, but I don't mind the livery. Same with the Cherry
Very
Rides.
nice.
Don't mind the livery.
Yum.
And
Oh, Pocky.
Never
What
heard
is
of it.
that?
never heard of
Looks
that.
interesting.
Yeah. Well, then we see the Whitaker's peanut
yes,
slab
yes.
McLaren. And then you go to the left, you see the pink Aston Martin. It's been changed a little bit because normally it is just purely white, and you now head through another Valvoline livery. And then you have McDowell with the Red Bull Porsche. And then you continue through, you have a purple Ferrari there. Then you have the Mustang on the left. Similar livery to Weatherburn. And now we are up to another. Yes.
Calls the Polywaffle, very famous in Australia. Awesome chocolate bar. And the Channel 9 Mustang. That's right, sports fans. We're going racing. Of course, famous for the Camaro Bathurst that fell on its roof. And then CrowdStrike. Better make sure that's working. Better re-download that. That was a poor joke. I'm sorry for that, viewers.
Uh,
Oh, the Coke Ferrari. Oh, liking that. Something about just a simple big brand as a livery. I don't know what it is, but it's just, it works.
it's clean. It's very clean.
Yeah, it is true. As they are heading off now. Oh,
Ooh,
Morrow.
no.
Oh, yes. And that is bright.
That is one way to get your car seen, which is that very bright yellow. Oh, if we notice that car on the track, it will probably be very easy to see, so that's all right.
So, Paul Ricard, 30 minutes. No mandatory pit stop, so it is a straight run flag to flag. Going to be interesting tonight, I feel. I feel like we could get a bit of a surprise. Just considering sort of the grid is a little bit mixed up a little bit. Our championship leader is in 11th position. So definitely keep an eye on that. Now, of course, if you do finish 10th in this race, you will start on pole for the next race. So definitely something to keep an eye on as well. So we'll keep an eye on the front, but of course we'll keep an eye on that bubble position as well.
Did we end up reading out our top 10 for the race? For the qualifying?
Well, I reckon we could probably do it now. I know Monks is on. There we go. Monks,
Yeah.
Burton, Holmes, Reynolds, Ellis, Sweeney, Johnson, McKellar, Conboy, and Walsh are your top 10, and with McNeil and Murphy just behind there in 11th and 12th.
They're going to want to change that very quickly, try to get into that top 10 for obviously the reverse grid, which I think maybe some of them were just pushing for that play early on as well, because that reverse grid can change a lot for the second race. A lot of things can happen there.
Tell you what, Ellis in 5th position in a Porsche is a mighty effort.
Oh, yeah, at this track, 100%.
Yeah, definitely full commitment there, and then obviously McDowell in silver always just outside that top 10 area, and then fights towards it in the race. Being in the Porsche, everybody in the Porsche up and down this grid will be under insane amounts of pressure, because it's up to you to get it done with just your commitment and your commitment alone, because the car is just not great around France. But we'll have to see what these boys in the Porsches can do. But then you obviously have everybody else on the grid. You have the Mercedes there. I don't know if I saw a Mercedes in split green last night. I think it's a pretty uncommon car this season in sprints, but there's a few of them here. And then obviously you have your Mustangs, McLarens, Ferraris, and just the usual. They are pretty strong around here. But now we're going to get ready to go racing as they go double file to round the final corner and begin the first race.
Here we go. Race 1 of 2 this evening for Spit Blue. Round 5 of the Simrigs.com OOR Sprint Series. Live from Paul Ricard in France. This should be an absolute ripper. I've just got a gut feeling this might throw up a surprise or two, and we might see some drama as well. And of course, they head down this really short front straight as well. It is not a long run into turn 1. And it has been known to cause a few issues, but there's plenty of runoff. If you hit a wall, Paul Ricard, you are doing very well indeed. And we are racing now as I head off down towards turn 1. Monks looks like he got a good start, but Burton's going to get aggressive here. Is he going to try and fling it around? He breaks very deep, and he does go around the outside. Lovely move there from Burton. Monks slots in a second. As they come through all turn 1, it looks, it's got a bit of drama in the background. So it looks like one of the green Lamborghinis that might have been a Ferrari got spun around. So head down into the Mickey Mouse section, and it is Burton leading the way from Monks. And then we've got Holmes, Reynolds, and Ellis all tucked in behind as they just get it around here now as they're going to head off down the Mistral for the first time.
I saw some 3 wides there at turn 1 and 2, which is a very dangerous play, but it seems to work out for them, except for those ones at the back, so I wonder what happened there. That Lamborghini isn't going to really lose its place here, especially against the Mercedes, unless Mercedes has a good run onto the straight. So positions are probably secure for now, but the Mustangs are going to go side by side. Oh, that was a good pass, I believe, by Burton
Whoa,
into first. They're all aggressive tonight, aren't they?
that was right out there. That, oh, geez. I thought Holmes was going to throw it down the inside there. He had a bit of a look, bit of a sneak, but decided against it. Reynolds just sitting there stalking this front three at the moment, just waiting for an opportunity. Ellis has done a magnificent job to hold on to fifth while going down the mid-trail. So that's a huge drive from Ellis. If he can just hold that position, that'll be a tremendous result. But Burton just looks like he's stretching the legs of the Mustang on lap one. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Oh, as Monks just backs up a little bit as we go to our replay here. We should see a bit of action side by side in the Sings, if you don't mind. Look at that. That is great racing. And look at, oh, Holmes nearly got up the back there of Monks. That was as close as you like.
And I'll tell you what, Reynolds is not going to give any peace and quiet to Holmes tonight. With that's just sitting right behind that Lamborghini and showing himself to the mirrors as well of the Lamborghini of Holmes. They're going to be driving really hard, and this position does matter because they're not going to want to lose out. And Reynolds has passed.
Great move from Reynolds. I just saw that at the corner of my eye. He just snuck the nose up there and then fired it straight down the inside. So a lovely move there from Ashton Reynolds. And he's off after these two Mustangs up the front. He doesn't want to let them get away. As looking at JC here, currently in 8th position. And he's in the slipstream of Johnson. He's going to unwind this GTR. He's going to go, right, I'm going to go to the outside if you don't mind. And he's going to get another slipstream from the Aston of Sweeney in front. So that should just pull him up there nice and easily. Oh, they're going to think about 3 wide here. Nope, I thought they were for a second, but they decide better of it. And nice position change there from JC. So he's up there to 7th position now. Great job. But oh, look at that. Johnson says, I'm going to have that.
Oh, no.
Oh, they've both gone wide. Oh, dear. Watch the rejoin. Both rejoin cleanly, but that just looked messy.
And that's what that's what I was saying about the Astons. They have no fight on that straight, but when it comes to the turns, we're looking at the replay, I think, of Ashlyn Reynolds passing on Holmes, which, yeah, very powerful pass. I'm guessing it would be into the braking zone there.
Oh, that's a beautiful move.
Clean, very clean. Aston great on the turns and everything, but obviously had too much speed trying to get around the GTR again and just, yeah, it doesn't work out well there.
As we're back
We
in.
know.
Oh, go ahead, Lindsay.
Okay. Yeah, as we now see Reynolds following the Lamborghini home once again, so we could see a repeat maneuver here, heading down into the channel. We're going to see a this overtake on Reynolds. So the Leo of Holmes just goes to the right-hand side, heading down into Scene Corner, and just out drags the side draft, and then commits to the apex and just gets in front run. As you look down to the bottom left, we have Pedley Camp as they head onto the mid-trail, and we will see another attempt at overtaking. There was the incident between AC and that Aston. I think that the Aston was, I don't even remember which Aston was. Johnson, I think it might have been. But now we see Ashton Reynolds at the end of the mid-trail. Will the Mercedes commit to it on the inside? Not quite. In the background there's a bit of racing going on between two Aston Martins, but we will stay with these two for the moment. Nathan's still putting the pressure onto Burton up in the front there, as well as now we move back to the Aston Martins. That's JC getting tapped at that corner again. He cannot escape any trouble at all, as Lily's able to pull away because of that, but Alex Walsh now gonna pull off the bump and run maneuver, goes deep under brakes with the Ferrari, has a snap on the marbles, and it's all gone wrong. Just a little bit too much commitment there from the Ferrari driver, and now we're going to see JC sweep through, and now the Aston Martin is going to go for it on that Ferrari as well, as they now head around the final corner. JC's ran a bit deep there. You might have the Porsche on the back of him, but then you get full throttle with that GTR and it just runs away. So JC shouldn't have a problem as we now move back up to Holmes versus Reynolds as they head through the first two corners again. Those two are scrapping away at it like they have been for the first 6 minutes of this race. And a little bit of racing there in the final sector, but it is very tricky to pull off, as we've seen already quite a bit of very close moments there, especially involving JC.
This track definitely does look good for close racing, with Holmes and Reynolds just constantly switching back and forth at who's going to have it, and it's just dependent on who gets the better run out and who has the slipstream, if you want to call it that, down the straight. It's just
that's the thing with Paul Ricard. It's horrible to hot lap, absolutely horrible. But racing wise, it's probably the best track in ACC to race on. Maybe Silverstone, could you probably put that up there as well, but yeah. Oh, as we're looking at a bit of action here, we've got Josh McLaughlin is overtaking. No, I didn't think so. I was bet. Whoa, that's close. Wow. Oh, 3 wide. No worries. Yep.
This is not a good spot.
Yep. And that is how you get sandwiched. Oh, that's not the optimal line there from the McLaren. I believe that is Jeff Coate. Gets very close to the Porsche McLaughlin and runs it too deep, which is so easy to do down there at Double D. Just, yeah, a little bit too late on the brakes and you'll run wide as possible. As looking here, McLaughlin working on the back there of McDowell, and they got Fleming in front as well. So Darty's up to 20th position, then they got Webb just in front of the Channel 9 Mustang, oh my God, Bentley, you idiot. And oh geez, there's some multiple different lines going on there. Back up towards the front, looking at Holmes.
Not to take away from the racing of the thing, but I have noticed one thing. It seems the Audis have all disappeared. There's no Audis in yellow. I don't remember seeing one in green, and there's none tonight, for blue at least. So I think we've lost a few of the Audi drivers to different cars, which makes sense. This track isn't the greatest for the Audi.
Audi gone in real life, Audi gone in game.
Yeah. Funny how that works out, isn't it? But yeah, I do believe, I recall having a conversation about Audis in split green last night, and I think there was one final Audi driver on the grid, and they did a car change going into Paul Ricard, so rest in peace the Audi on the sprint grid as we now look at Alex Walsh chasing behind Johnston as they head towards the scene corner at the end of the Mistral. Can the Ferrari do anything here as they pass through the halfway point? We're going to move back up to Holmes versus Reynolds as they go side by side into scene. There's a little bit of wheel rubbing there as Reynolds nearly just turns it a bit too much. There's a bit of contact there and Reynolds loses out from that little bit, but that invites Ellis right back into the party here, as well as Sweeney, as they head now towards Bendor. And Reynolds was just a little bit unfortunate there, tried to cut back underneath and cut it a bit too close, and then there was that contact, but Ellis will be very happy about that one as they head now through into Latour, and just gave Holmes a little bit of breathing room there to the Mercedes for the first time since the start of the race. And speaking of the breathing room, it is now all gone as Reynolds had a mighty final sector there in the Mercedes and is right back up underneath that Lamborghini's bumper, and the fight will continue.
Cracking race at the moment up towards the front here. And just checking in on Bubble Watch, currently it is Murphy currently in 10th position, so we'll keep an eye on that. Of course, that will be pole for the next race. And of course, our bottom 11 and down will fight it out in second qualifying session, as we are looking at Ashley Johnson, who is showing in 10th position. So we're just going to believe that for the moment. We'll go with that in the Mosaic Motorsport Chocolat entry. I didn't know they made chocolate. Oh.
Neither did I.
Things you learn.
And do we also want to talk about our current championship leader, Austin McNeil, currently in 13th. Lost a couple of positions off of the start, which I believe he was in 11th or 12th for the start. It's only one or two positions lost.
Yeah, so he's dropped down to 13th, which will have some championship implications, especially with Josh Holmes up there in third, and he's currently 39 points behind, and that's with the adjusted drop round as well. So there could be a bit of a tightening up of the gap up the front. Of course, with the second race as well, we'll have to keep an eye on that, but it could have a bit of a championship changing stuff. We're looking at McCullough and Lele here. Here's a good battle between a Ferrari and Aston. God, I love that Valvoline Ferrari. Just suited so well. The other thing I've noticed here as well, I don't know if you two have noticed it. You know the tyre debris that you get on the car, like the rubber? I find it
Yeah.
happens here at Paul Ricard quicker than any other track.
It happens everywhere because it's all over the track, even on like the
Yeah.
optimal line for the straight. It's pretty much all over the straight. So no matter what, you're going to be running into it all. Yeah,
And
the tires, I'm
penalty.
surprised, survive. Oh, we got penalty.
Yep,
Yeah.
so we've
Well,
got
I
Lele with a
imagine
5-second and McLean with a 10-second penalty at the moment. Oh,
Yes,
that's...
well, Lele just nearly committed there to the move and then just about pulled out of it as they realized they weren't going to make it to the apex in time, as they now head into the final snail section before you head on to the Mistral. Cut it back across left. They held it a bit tighter than the Ferrari's line. That is just a difference in car. Usually the Ferrari can take a little bit of a different line compared to those front engine cars. We're now going to move back to Alex Walsh here with Ferrari versus Aston again, but this time it's the 12 Ferrari versus, I don't even know what the livery is on that Aston, but Walsh got a great run on to the Mistral, and it's going to be all over the back of Johnston as they now head towards the halfway point of the straight under the bridge where the chicane would be. This was F1, and just pulling in front, inching in front goes Walsh, but they're going to go wheel to wheel into Scene Corner, it looks like, as they are side by side. Who's going to be the most committed here under brakes? The Aston is really good at that corner. He had a bit of an entry snap though, and it snaps away from him. This allows the Lambo of McNeil right into this as they now head through Bousset, and McNeil is going to get 2 for the price of 1. A brilliant double overtake there from McNeil, proving himself as the championship leader as if he needed to anymore, but that move just shows why he is one of the best every single week, and that double overtake was truly spectacular, wasn't it?
What a fantastic move from McNeil. That's how you prove you're a championship leader right there. That is someone who knows with the position he's in, knows that he is losing points, and he has to make up as much ground as possible. What a brilliant bit of driving, and I'm sure we will get a replay of that. That was fantastic. Double overtake for the reverse grid pole. Exactly right. That is how it's done. Well done, McNeil. That was unbelievable to watch.
My brain is not tracking the positions currently properly. Is
Back
Chris
with
Murphy not in pole of reverse grid?
the leaderboard's balked. ACC
Oh,
things,
okay.
not features. Here we
Yeah.
go on board here with McNeil. As the two Aston and the Ferrari just get a little bit of touch, and McNeil says, "Thank you very much for the rabbits. I'll be taking some of that." But no, the Ferrari on the outside did want to have a conversation, but McNeil said, "I'm having none of that," and that is absolutely beautifully done. That is opportunist at its best. As we're looking back here at Lele on McCullough now, as they head down the Mistral. This is going to be very... Oh, that is one line. Yes, I'll take that. Whoa. We've got a bit of drama going on there, I believe, with Burton. So yeah, Monks is in the lead now. What is going... There's some weird stuff happening. Whoa,
Oh
there's a
no!
touch there from Reynolds. Oh, that was... Oh, geez, on Holmes. I'm not sure about that one. Of course, we'll get a replay of that as well. There's plenty going on here at the moment.
That is Burton in the pits. As chat says, that would be from packet loss. So Burton's obviously internet has not had a good time tonight. So likely Burton's out of the first race, but could have a good comeback in the second race. But we are seeing some really, really good racing tonight, and Alice will be happy to be moving up, and so will Holmes, because they are the top 3 for the whole competition, if you want to call it that. With Holmes in second and Breno Alice in third. But yeah, they are driving very well tonight. Just a little bit of contact, and there is a penalty for Johnston causing a collision, a 10-second one.
So that was for that contact with JC.
Yep.
Here we go. And this will give us a replay of some weirdness. Or this may be... Yep, that is weirdness.
Oh, that is terrifying.
Yeah, Nathan would have been Code Brown there, but that also invites Reynolds and Holmes' little fight now for P2. As wow, big moment there between Chris Murphy and JC as they head onto the Mistral. Lely is also there, and McNeil once again being the car watching in the background, but now he's going to strike as they head towards Scene Corner at the end of the Mistral, as McNeil just inching along, but maybe just backing out of it there, waiting for carnage to ensue in front, as we now see JC trying to stick a nose in on the inside of the Scene Corner, as we see Karen Thistleway with a 10-second time penalty for causing a collision. I didn't catch what lap it was, as we see McNeil going for it on the Porsche of Chris Murphy into Bousset, as now JC goes up the inside of Bendor. A very late braking maneuver there from the Nissan to try and get that one done, as they now head through Latour, and JC just about backs out of it and is going to wait to strike into turn 1, as JC just thought about poking the nose up, didn't quite commit to it just yet, is going to wait and play it patient. McNeil also sitting in the background there, waiting to continue his charge through the field after what wasn't a great qualifying session for him in that Lamborghini, but he's making it work here in the race. Pace just improving as he goes on, as Murphy now sitting back waiting to strike again on McNeil, who just overtook him. But there's 12 minutes to go, and no signs of letting up here from this top 10 fight, as we now see Walsh trying to go for it on Murphy in the background, as Walsh commits to it under braking, can't quite make the apex before Murphy, but now he's going to have a compromised run through the next portion of racetrack towards the run onto the Mistral, as a bit of a wobble there from the Porsche. It's all about how he can hold it here through the right, and he holds it pretty similarly to Walsh, but Walsh opens up the corner, and now the slingshot onto the Mistral slipstream, and Walsh is just underneath the rear wing of that Porsche and is gaining and gaining constantly here down the straight, and you've got to think it's going to be quite easy to pull off here, but they're actually about to head into the entry, and they are going to go side by side. I don't think Walsh has time to clear that Porsche, as the other the McLaren also trying to get involved, as Walsh now on the inside of Scene, and there we go, very wide there from Murphy in the Porsche, and now Thistleway goes for it after just getting his penalty, makes an overtake to try and make amends there for his earlier actions, and he knows he's got to go. This is time for him to run away and try and make up for time he's going to lose at the end when they cross the line, and now his sights are set on Chris Murphy.
Great action there, fantastic. Enjoyed that. I tell you what, Murphy in that Porsche is doing a mega job to stay in front of those cars that are clearly faster. Is a huge drive from Lunchy. He does know what he's doing behind the wheel of that thing. And as we are looking at a replay here, and this is Reynolds and Holmes going at it again. Now this is that move we saw before, we just caught the back end of it. So Holmes goes in, and Reynolds, oh, there's a slight touch there which just puts Holmes wide a little bit. We'll leave that up to our fantastic stewarding team. Big shout out to our stewarding team. They do a mega job. As we're back here with Murphy now currently in 10th position. He's got Thistleweight all over him here. This is all really tight racing, and this is all for that big position that they all want, pole position for race 2. So the fight is real here as we go to a bit of side-by-side camera action of the same action. So a lot of action. There's action everywhere. More action than the Chuck Norris film. So heading down now the Mistral straight, and we go at it again, and JC's got the eyes on here in the Turkish Delight entry. He's looking very keen. He wants to pull out of Lele there, and he's going to go side by side now. But this is what happens. You just hit this giant brick wall. But the GTR just laughs in GTR and goes, oh, I'll be taking some of that. Oh, sideways through Siegs. Oh, that was mega. What a move from JC. That was awesome. What a fantastic bit of racing. In this camera 1, we've got action here with Walsh and Thistleweight and Murphy as well. They're going at it. Oh, there's too much to watch on the screen. Take over, Jaden.
I can't keep up with it all. If there was definitely something for style points, I think JC would be winning that this season with the amount of drifts I've seen him pull off. But there is a lot, as you were saying, Sean, a lot of action going on right now. JC pulling an overtake, the 12 car from Walsh doing an overtake. It's just so much chaos at once. And because this track, apart from really that straight, which is still a decent spot for a lot of cars to pull an overtake, there's always something going on. Whether it's at one end of the track or the other, and everyone is racing. Oh, I'd say very cleanly today. There's a few penalties, obviously, but they're doing it pretty well. And here's a replay of JC's slide. Oh, look at that correction.
Yes, that is car control at its absolute finest.
That's someone who knows how to correct their car without overcorrecting and sending it into the wall, which a lot of people, and I'm surprised we haven't seen it today, a lot of people have slid. JC,
no. Oh, what has happened
What's
there?
happened? We need a replay of that. What has happened?
I don't want to
know.
speculate, but something has definitely happened there. Turkish Delight has just gone off.
There we go. We have the replay, and JC just gets tagged by the Aston, and it was just pretty poor there under braking from the Aston, just too late, and just runs into the back of JC, much to his dismay, but that makes him fall all the way down. But he is still nearly there with that train. He has a couple of laps to close back up and try to get some moves done, and with Godzilla underneath him, I'm sure he can make back some of the positions he lost. But right now, the main... Oh, as Lele gets a 10-second time penalty for collision on lap 9. So there's a penalty for the Aston. As now Walsh still trying to chase Thistleweight as they head through the final sector, through Latour. And, just very much tighter as Walsh gets a 10-second time penalty for causing collision on lap 3. So the stewards working double time here to get all of the penalties out and spread to the rest of the field. But Walsh very close behind that McLaren. I don't think a turn 1 move is on the cards, but a move into Mistral could be very much an option, as McNeil very close there behind McKellar as well, just further up the road. But we're going to stay... Oh no, we are going to go to McNeil, who has a great run out of turn 1 and might commit to it under braking here. It's a good place to go for a move if you're firing off alongside. McNeil brakes very late, but McKellar not giving this one up quite so easily. But McNeil sails around the outside, has the inside for the next part. This allows McKellar to try and get a good run, but he goes too deep under braking. This invites Murphy into it as well as they head into the Mistral. And there we go. McKellar loses 2 positions from one singular overtake. An overtake turns into a mistake there, and 2 positions down. And it was a great move all the way around the outside there from McNeil, again showing his racecraft.
I just want to point out the leaderboard very quickly. JC hasn't really lost too much from that little incident. Considering the 3 in front of him all have 10-second penalties, if he's able to stay within 10 seconds, which for the last 5 minutes, unless he has a big accident, he should be able to. He is in contention for 9th place, which would put him in 2nd position for the second race. So I'd say that he's not come out too bad from that spin and that accident with Lele. But we are getting more
3 wide here.
side-by-side
Look
action.
at this. Wow. 3 wide, if you don't mind. McKellar, Walsh, Thistleweight are all just going at it here. So they're like, we're just going to throw caution into the wind. Let's go for it. This is great racing between Thistleweight and the McLaren, the 2 Ferraris of McKellar and Walsh here. Oh, look at that twirl. Ferrari just all over it. Thistleweight, but Thistleweight gets a lovely drive out of the final turn and now absolutely stomps the throttle to head off towards turn 1. I'll tell you what, that twirl livery is starting to grow on me. I'm not a fan of the chocolate bar, but the livery is growing on me. It's McKellar though.
It's a Cadbury livery. It's just the Cadbury colours. They're nice colours.
They are nice colours.
But he gets a good run. And
lovely run.
Yeah, Walsh might commit to it on the inside. McKellar, though, doesn't want to get overtaken there for the 2nd lap in a row and just commits to it under braking and beats Walsh to the corner. And now they're going to find themselves racing down the straight. Same car as well, same sort of slipstream from the car in front of them, except for the fact that McKellar's just a little bit further behind that McLaren, so this should be easy pickings here for Walsh down the straight. But we have seen, despite the length of the straight, sometimes even with slipstream, you don't quite pull it up all the way until you get to scene, so we'll have to see how much the slipstream is gaining. Walsh is closing and closing and closing right up underneath the rear wing of his fellow Ferrari compatriot here, but it's not going to be enough as they head towards scene. Maybe just a little bit of lower wing there on McKellar's Ferrari, because surely you'd expect to see more time gain. Oh no! What's a massive moment? Isn't able to catch it how JC did, and that is a nice little spin from Alex Walsh, and oh no, that really feels bad for the Ferrari. It just snapped away from him.
He twirled right round. Yeah, see that?
Ah,
I
Here
like
all
that.
day.
That's a great one. And look at that.
yeah.
Oh. That's Alicia. Okay.
That is Alice on Holmes there. That's a lovely move. Hang on. Was that a Porsche passing a Lambo? What's going on there?
Very
Crazy
great
Crazy
spot.
stuff. Here is
The
Holmes.
Aston's
currently
still
in pole
holding up.
position. Tell you what,
Aston,
McNeil has done a mega job here. He's up to 6th position. That is a huge drive.
Yeah. Bit of just a little bit of a drive, and Monk's also with the best lap. And here's a replay of the twirl, having a little bit of a. Yep, there you go. That is the twirl, as you did say before.
That's a good twirl. Here's McKellar, currently in 9th. He's got Johnson right behind him, and JC is right there, ready to pounce. End up with JC also with the eyes on. So we'll wait till they get down to the Mistral, and then watch that GTR just go right. Turbo mode activated. Tell you what, the Aston here, look, here we go. Let's jump on board with JC now. So Johnson pulls out of the slipstream, and JC now is in the draft, or as I like to call it, the suck zone. And look at the just sailing. No, he's not going to try around the outside. I think he's a bit smarter for that. He's going to check the GTR line. No, keeps the wheel straight. Miracle. And he's just going to fire it down the inside of Double D. Lovely move. That's as clean as you like. Beautifully executed. That moves him up now into 10th position, but that will be corrected, of course, with penalties. Should move him up to 9th. And I reckon he'll take that after just having a bit of a mare towards the back end. Not his fault, but we'll definitely watch out for him in race 2.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain is trying to catch up with what positions everybody's getting into. These Astons have only really a top speed of 280, and when in the draft, it's a 282. And Daisy looks to be looking to make a move on turn 1, which he is going to go for against McCullough, which will put him certifiedly in 9th place, and he's made it, which is now 100% in 9th place, and if he can keep up with this, weight is at 8th position, so he has gained back those positions lost from the incident earlier. But that Nissan GTR has so much power coming onto the straight, and the amount of speed and acceleration it has, it's just nothing can really beat it along there. But those Astons, like for example with the Lambo, will get up to 282, 283, and then just nothing more. So once they get up to that speed, everything else just zooms past.
Yeah, the only thing that'll beat the GTR down the Mistral is the Mustang.
Yeah,
that thing's powered by a Saturn V5 rocket. As Holmes now throws it up the inside there of Sweeney. Nice move, clean as you like. Into scenes.
Is car 8 causing yellow flag there? Turn 1 returns to the pit lane, but that now is the flag. So we are on the... No, this will be the final sector of the race 1. So Nathan Monk's out the front there, rounding Latour, and then we'll head to Virage DuPont to pick up the race win as a Pro-Am driver. So definitely a promotion coming his way, but Nathan rounding the final corner, comes to the line and takes the flag in Paul Ricard, and then Reynolds follows him in P2. Ellis, P3. Holmes will pick up the P4, followed by Sweeney in P5. Then a little gap back to McNeil, who's had a brilliant recovery drive after a poor qualifying in lap 1, takes the P6. Then Murphy, P7. Thistlethwaite, P8. JC just about picks up P9. Then McKellar, P10. Johnston will come home P11 on the track, but will lose out quite a few positions here from his penalty. Apreciado comes in behind him, then McLean, then Ben Curtis picks up P14, Webb P15, Fleming P16, and then we have I don't want to mess up the pronunciation here. Someone help me out.
Osborough, McDowell, Vetica, Boxall, McLaughlin, Jeffcoat, and Walsh.
So that was a really good race. That was non-stop action, at least. I really enjoyed that.
It was, yeah, definitely. Very much a good race. But our camouflage. That's pretty cool.
Give us donuts, Nathan, please.
Just see the cherry ripe. That had camouflage. That looked funny as.
Get it back out on the track. I need to see it.
But
that
great race
was an awesome race.
Yeah, it was. Nathan Monks takes the win. Nathan Monks, great pro win there from Nathan Monks. Certainly justified his white tag next to his name. See, I told you we're going early. But that is race 1 run and done, and that was an absolute beauty. Driver of the day for me, 100% Breno Ellis. How he put that Porsche where it was, no right doing that. So an amazing drive from Ellis.
Oh, I've got to go for McNeil in the Lamborghini. The comeback from 13th, I believe it was, all the way to top 10 somewhere. I can't remember the position. 6th. That great race from him. And the passes we saw him do were insane.
Yeah.
Also want to shout out to Nathan Monks. Again, insane race from the Pro-Am driver. I believe this is his first season and he's already doing insane racing like this. So keep up the great work, mate.
Yeah, so that was a great race from him, but I'd happen to agree with you on the call for McNeil picking up my driver of the race. But now we head into what is a second qualifying session to determine all the positions outside of the top 11, and then we have race 2. Do we think this is a little bit of a fun fact of the track time?
Fun fact of the track. Well,
not really fun fact, but just facts about the track.
Well, the circuit we are racing on is the 1AV2. There you go. And Paul Ricard has, I believe, 625,454 layouts. Some say.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
Yes, but another thing to add on to that is the fact that only 7 of them are FIA graded.
Yes, true story. Of course, it is located in Marseille, in France as well. Beautiful part of the world, lovely food in Marseille. Awesome croissants and patisseries in Marseille. So if you are in that part of the world, definitely go and grab yourself some sweets. And of course, there is plenty of chocolat in France as well. But you're better off to pop over the border, sort of up a little bit to Switzerland. That's where your top chocolate is.
Yep, and the track is 5.770 kilometers long with the layout we are running tonight, with 13 corners on the layout. And you might have heard this already if you were watching into Split Green, but the lap record is a 1 minute 40.139 by Nick De Vries back in 2020 with an LMP2 car. The track was discovered and broke ground in 1969, was first raced on in April 1970. And the only change in recent times, so post 2010, was a little change to the layout in 2019, just to accommodate for a little bit of a pit lane change.
There you go. And yep, great racetrack, great to race on, but it's still boring as you know what to drive on.
Exactly.
Yep.
Oh, look at that peanut slope. You know what? I'm going to go to the shop tomorrow and get myself a peanut slope.
Yeah, it's a good track. It's good for being French. So that is something.
Yeah,
well, they do wave a white flag on the last lap. It is not their first nor their last white flag they will wave.
Wow.
Wow, you've gone there. Wow.
I'm calling it out.
Wow, he's gone early. Let's just look at a Burton here, currently on screen in that Logitech Mustang. Absolutely gorgeous livery, that one. And the Mustang has proven itself to be an absolute rocket ship around here. Hopefully his Australian internet plays ball and he gets the hamsters on the wheel and he can see out the race, because I reckon we would have had an absolute cracking race between Burton and Monks there. So hopefully he can start 11th or around that position and try and fire his way through the field. As you're looking at Alex Walsh here, he did a bit of a twirl there towards the back end of a race one in that lovely twirl livery. As I said, it's the flake bar from wish.com, the twirl. Thoughts on that, Lindsay?
I disagree with you. I mean, personally, I was going to run a 12 livery as well. In this split, I had it made by Herbie and it didn't reach ground, but I love 12, but 12 and Flake, they're just basically the same chocolate, but one is chocolate coated. I don't see the problem. I have Alexis can back me up on that from Green Comms last night. We had the same opinion on that. 12 and Flake's equal in my eyes, so I love them both.
To quote JC in chat, factually incorrect.
Oh, wow. But JC can't have an opinion when he has a Turkish Delight livery.
Exactly.
Look, that
Get
is
rid
fair.
of the Turkish Delight livery, please. Now,
wow.
I know someone's...
Oh, wow.
Okay. Well, I know someone
Okay.
was supposed to have a Caramello Koala livery. If I could scroll up and see who that was, which ultimately is the best chocolate, because everybody likes it. And if they don't, their opinion is wrong. So
You know what we haven't, there was one last night, I haven't seen a Freddo livery.
neither. I'm surprised about that.
I don't recall seeing one in Split Green last night, and I watched through quite a bit of Split Yellow, and I don't recall seeing one either. So, no, I don't think we have seen the iconic Freddo hit the track yet in Paul Ricard. There is still Split Red, and then all of the North American splits as well. So there is some more chances, but at least currently in the 3 splits we've looked at, no Freddos yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Creamy milk Whitakers. Yum, yum. That is, of course, Josh Holmes as well. Man is a man of taste and class, I can see, as Lele does go to the top of qualifying 2 there. I believe that was 153 too. It was actually a very solid lap as well. So nice job there. Thiswaite second, Johnson third, Horsborough fourth, and Kieran Reid currently in 5th position, who's currently on screen at the moment. And chat is starting to light up with chocolate opinions, which I love.
Which is, it's how it should be. And that is also a not so great chocolate and should be chucked out of the favorites box. Now, what we should be talking about is which chocolates actually do belong in the favorites box. And it's not cherry ripe, and it's not Turkish Delight, and it's only the good chocolate.
Well, if you're chucking cherry ripe out, okay, so what's in there? 12 flake, Morrow. Is it Morrow? Yeah, Morrow. Dream. Oh, the little chocolate slab thing. And then Turkish Delight and cherry ripe.
So there is different types of boxes nowadays as well, because you also have the party dishes and stuff, and then also the dark edition, which is like the old gold and stuff like that. But if we're talking about the original favorites, which is I think what we need to be on, it is the dairy milk, the caramello Caramilk is a new one. Not the best flavor, but I don't hate it. Old gold is in there. You got the twirl, the crunchy, the picnic, for those who like nuts.
How could I forget about the picnic?
You have both Boost and Morrow in there, Cherry Ripe and Turkish Delight.
Yeah, so most of them hit, but Turkish Delight and Cherry Ripe can get in the bin, can zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket, so and just lock them in a deep dark room where they're never to be seen again.
Snickers or picnic?
Picnic. I love picnic.
I think they're even for me.
Snickers. I love Snickers bars. Here is, of course, the beautiful polywaffle livery. Of course, the younger generation wouldn't understand what a polywaffle is. And there is
No,
only
I
one
don't.
way. There is only one way to eat a polywaffle. You bite the outside first, which reveals the marshmallow center, and you leave that till last.
Yeah, I can confirm I do not have a clue what a polywaffle is. So, just
It is a
confirming your
classic Australian
suspicions.
chocolate bar. There's the Morrow livery. I like that. That's all. Is that green or yellow? What do we reckon?
I think
It
it's
should be yellow. The Morrow logo is yellow, but I think it is a very high vision green.
it's just it's fluoro. So
It's the health and safety version of the Morrow livery.
yeah, it looks like my dad's work shirt pretty much.
Morrow could be the safety car for this race with the brightness of it.
So it
Is there
Burton,
even more yellow?
Burton leading away from Lele, Johnson, Thistlethwaite, and Horsburgh, your top 5 at the moment, and Burton the fast lap for 53.3.
Yeah,
I've
obviously
got confirmation
Burton
from Callum, yellow.
yellow. Okay, yeah, makes pretty good sense there. But you would imagine Burton really, really wants to be on pole, because the further he starts up, the more the easier it is for him to make a comeback from his internet issues. And hopefully he can charge through for a win. He will, if he does get pole, will just be starting right behind Nathan Monks where he left off anyway. So his shot back into the race will be with his pole position, which right now is looking likely, but we also now see Ben Curtis right now, P7 in this quali 2, 3/10 up just about as he heads through Bousset and now towards Bender. Ben is on a pretty nice lap here, and just get it across with first gear. Sometimes it is a struggle to get it back towards that apex. You've got to take a bit of a weird entry into Bendor, and now you head into Latour. Very tricky corner. You kind of got to be on and off the brakes half of the way through, and then blipping the throttle, and then first gear for Virage Dupont, and then the run to the line. It is a 3/10 improvement there from Ben Curtis. Where is this going to put him? It's going to put him a few positions up into P6, so not a bad lap from him. We now head to Alex Walsh as he invalidates 7/10 up as well, so that has got to hurt.
That was from Walsh, that was going to be a ripper lap, and Lele, he's invalidated as well. So even though I don't trust ACC's timing at all, I have seen laps that are green box but red numbers, so I just don't trust it. But we'll keep an eye on Lele here. Currently in second. Ooh, nice little bit of sideways action now on the final turn. And it's going to go across the line, and yes, that was an invalid lap. I thought so.
No, it wasn't.
No,
It was an improvement.
ACC timing. Never trust it.
And I believe Johnston was supposed to have a Caramello livery for this round, but might have just had some issues with the livery bot. So I like Johnston's livery, even though I can't see it.
Quickly talk about the one livery we haven't seen, and is the greatest chocolate bar of all time. That is the mighty Bounty Bar.
There was one in Split. There was one in Split Green last night, and Alexis, myself, and JP were just putting it in its early grave. So
it's okay to have wrong opinions.
I think 3 against 1 here. I think it speaks volumes.
It's definitely 3 against 2, and
3 against 2.
Peach doesn't count, so it's actually 2 against 2.
No, and Peach definitely counts.
I think in the end, we just...
Bounty is mid.
Race control, seriously, we need to have a conversation.
Oh, wow. Wow. Race control
needs to get some control.
I think race control's in perfect control. In fact, I think they put it a bit too high on the tier list.
Wow. Maybe it's because the younger generation just don't understand the classiness of a Bounty Bar.
Yeah, clearly.
These kids today, I don't know.
If you want a classy chocolate, you go for a Ferrero. Just saying. Ferreros don't miss.
Oh, these guys apart from tire pressures for the second race, these guys also better check that they put on fresh tires for the second race, as I didn't do in split yellow yesterday. Which still turned out fine.
Yeah, there you go. I've done that before as well. Gone out 2 laps in, I'm going, car doesn't feel as grippy as it should. And then after the race, check my tyres, went, that's why it doesn't feel as grippy as it should.
Ooh, as Ken Lele pop Burton off of pole here. One more lap for the Aston to go. Already 3 tenths up through the first sector. So if they don't invalidate again, they should knock Burton off that pole position. Well, the best of the rest pole position for P11 there with a 53.3. I think Burton was pretty confident that that one was going to get it done. But Lely has just had 2 invalid laps that were quicker back-to-back. We have just been going to Lely each lap and seeing them invalidate at this very corner here seen. So hopefully they keep it in the track this time. Full commitment there from the Aston. Get it across and keeps it within track limits this time on the raggedy edge. And now into Bousset. Hold it out. Bring it to the outside of the track and then cut back across. They're bleeding a little bit of lap time, but they're going to regain it on the exit of the corner. And now into Bendor. Very late on the brakes goes Lily as they now get it to the apex. Short shift, get a good exit. Lost a little bit of time there. Just ran out a bit wide and now flat out. And then a flick across for Latour. And second gear, get to the apex and then cut back across. Braking zone for the heavy hairpin of Virage Dupont. And run to the line. It is going to be easily ahead of Burton and an easy as you want pole position here in this qualifying session. A 53.1. Absolutely phenomenal there from Lely. And a 2/10 gap nearly over Burton for that pole position. So it's going to be Lely, Burton, Boxall, Thistleway, Johnston, Horsburgh, Curtis, Walsh, Wood, McDowell, Ganlon, Williams, McLean, Vidiger, Webb, McLaughlin, Reed. I have no idea how to say that.
That's all right.
I always get stumped with one. I'm like reading down the list. I was like, yes, I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. No, I don't got this.
That's all right, because we will see as they will do the call outs once the 30 seconds gets done. They'll do the call outs and we'll see the first top 10 be put into their position in the reverse grid order, which I cannot remember what positions they were in. But yes, we'll see them all get set up in a moment.
So another 30-minute race. Now, normally with these races, these super sprint rounds, normally race 1's a little calmer, but race 2, it all tends to kick off. So we'll keep a very close eye on that as well, because with these short races, you've really got to make hay while the sun shines. That's a nice segue as it looks at the sky there. There is the JC Mobile with Turkish Delight.
I like the look. I like the look. I hate the chocolate. Great. I like the look though.
It looks fantastic. I like the gold down the bottom to mimic the wrapper. I think that's a really nice touch. Of course, I believe that was made by the one and only Mad Mike, correct?
No, race control. Get out. You've overstepped now.
I just can't get on board with that race. I just can't.
Yeah, race control's overstepped now.
So this, of course, is race 2 of Split Blue.
Oh, and then the...
Oh, and again.
Oh, race control's on one today.
Coming up later, of course, is Split Red AK, Split Asia AK, Split Blood. That's going to another 2 races. Looking forward to that one as well. And of course, big thank you to our sponsor, Simrigs.com, for all your sim racing needs. Go see the fantastic crew at Simrigs.com. They do have their showroom open now, so you can pop in and test out some gear as well. Of course, if you are an OOR Patreon, you get 5% off discount as well. And who doesn't love free or cheap stuff? And I'll tell you what, this grid, I'm not going to look at this grid. There's some, I can't wait for Split Red though. I reckon there's going to be a couple of surprises in there. I have heard rumblings of a couple of chocolate bars we haven't seen before.
I have heard bad rumours though. I've heard there's going to be a few Turkish Delights on the grid for Red.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I
JC's in the
think there's a
box
whole
today.
army of
Yeah.
them. I think there's a whole army of them prepared. I think
Oh,
there's like
no.
3 or 4.
Oh, that's going to be a fun evening. So here we are, as they all get themselves sorted. Numbers are being called out. For a lot of our longer viewers, you know the drill. You know how this works. So what are we thinking for this race? John, have we got any sort of predictions? Anything we think might happen?
What is... Oh, yeah, right, they're just getting lined up. I have actually not seen what happens at the front here before. I've never been inside the top 10 for it, so I didn't know they just kind of stopped here. Good to know. I think we'll see... I think JC will have a good race. I think stretching its legs with that GTR underneath him on those first couple laps, getting overtakes done, might be able to get him to the front. I think we'll see Nathan trying to make another charge, Burton trying to get past Lele, and then make up for what he lost with his disconnect. I think those are the main points I'm expecting to see. And then obviously you have McNeil, who had a very good recovery, will now be starting further up, so it's going to be pretty good for them. I think they'll find themselves in a nice spot, not having to make so many overtakes. They should just be able to hold station, make some overtakes, and bring it home. But another 30 minutes, you can make predictions, but anything can happen, really.
That's motorsport in a nutshell.
I do love the variety. If you do look at that front, and there is a variety there. I was expecting kind of like you to be able to easily see a strong car, but well, to be fair, there's not many Mustangs in this split. There is a few, but the variety is enough there to say that it's all right.
Yeah, definitely. I was just Luke in chat. Yes, Velveline, my favourite chocolate.
Yeah, and then you
That's
also
a
have
good top tier
Crowd
game.
Strike for the safety car livery as well. Great chocolate Crowd Strike. I've heard it doesn't cause worldwide outages.
No, of course
Ever.
not.
Said no one ever.
I didn't see that the Valvoline liveries were up together at the front.
Yeah, they look good.
Oh yeah, that is
Formation
good.
fine.
Yeah.
That is a nice look.
And then you just have a boat sitting behind them 2 times the size of both of the cars combined.
Where's the Bentley?
Oh, the GTR's also a boat. It's just not the boatly.
And of course,
there's the
fourth
Bentley.
position.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sean.
No, you're right. I was just going to say, in fourth position, it is the most beautiful shape on the grid, the one and only Porsche 992 GT3R. Flat 6, 9,000 RPM. We all know it. And I absolutely adore it. I think everyone knows that by now. But this race, yeah, look forward to this one. I think this one's going to be, it's going to be on. I think JC's going to want to really get to the front early and see if he can drive away. Because he's got McNeil behind, who's going to be very quick. We know Sweeney's a good operator. Holmes is quick as well. Ellis has proven that he can outdrive that Porsche. So this one, I think, is going to have a real bit of spice to it, a bit of jalapenos. So as they get ready now, final turn. Here we go. Race 2, Split Blue, round 5 of the Simrigs.com OR Sprint Series, live from Paul Ricard. And they are about to go racing. There we go. It was a bit of a long up. As they offer now, they head off towards turn 1. Oh, I thought JC was going to go for a move nice and early. Wowee. It's going to get Troy goes 3 wide into turn 1. That never works. JC tries to throw it up the inside. There's been a slight touch. Oh, there's been carnage.
No!
Oh, there's carnage everywhere. There's carnage.
Massive carnage. Oh,
it is turned into a French car park.
That could be a safety car.
I think
Yeah,
that will be a safety car.
Yeah, safety car. As that is split yellow-esque.
That was definitely not great. I'll tell you that. That's not how you want to start some things off. So,
yeah, we're probably gonna have to see a replay of that. I'm not even sure exactly what went wrong. We saw the Valvoline Ferrari go around, and then JC got tapped by it, and then it just all went wrong everywhere. JC tried to roll off the track instead of holding brakes, and that caused a bunch of cars who were trying to dodge him to just fall into him. So we see down at turn 1 here, JC on the inside. They just make a little bit of contact with the Ferrari, and then the Ferrari spins around, taps it, and then he rolls back into 3 cars. And then it causes a car park. The Bentley makes a tap. Reynolds makes a tap as well. It's just carnage everywhere.
That's going to be a difficult one, I think, for the stewards. I'm not 100% sure who was at fault there, and very hard to get out of the way when you have that many cars coming up behind you and everyone just trying to get around as quick as possible before that safety car is called. It's just, yeah, carnage from turn 1 in this case. So not great situation for the start of race 2. But hopefully we see it clean up and the next race start will be hopefully better.
Look, yeah, it is. That's Paul Ricard, lap 1, turn 1. It's kind of seen it a couple of times before, but I guess that is racing sometimes as well. Sometimes you're in the wrong place at the wrong times. We jump on board here. I think this is with Reynolds, and Reynolds is. Oh no! Yep! No! Yep! No! Oh no! He got hit from behind. Oh, so he nearly got through that, and then got a big boot from behind. So sometimes you can look like a hero, like McNeil has just popped himself up in a second, if you don't mind. That's how you win championships right there, ladies and gentlemen. But sometimes you're the unlucky one.
Yeah, that's that was interesting, and I can see why JC would have rolled back there. It's probably, you don't want to really be sitting in the middle of the track with 20, 30 odd cars coming up really quickly onto you. You probably do want to try to get on the way, but as the rule is, it breaks all the time for that predictability. And we are about to get into the race restart as Apreciado does start going, and we've got a fastest lap of 3 minutes and 11 seconds from McNeil.
And that beats the record of the 2 minutes 59.0 we saw yesterday in Split Green after the lap 1 safety car. So an even slower safety car, but we are back underway. Apreciado leading from McNeil, then Murphy slots in that 3rd spot. We will maybe see a swap for the lead, but the Lambo also is not that great in a straight line, so it all comes down to the exit they get through Lacole onto the Mistral. So dip it down to the right, and then you have the long, snaily right that is just terrible to drive, but is one of the most crucial corners of the circuit. And now McNeil is going to get a massive slingshot and some slipstream down the straight here at Paul Ricard. Down the Mistral they go. McNeil closing and closing and closing on the Aston, just closing behind the rear wing. He's going to pull to the right-hand side, pick up the side draft, and is just able to get alongside Apreciado as they head down towards Scene. This is going to be a brave commitment here from McNeil to take the lead of the race if he can get this one done. He dives to the apex. Apreciado has to just about come out a bit wider, and McNeil takes the lead already 1 lap after the safety car. Well, not even a lap after the safety car comes in, and that is him in the lead. And that, as Sean has said repeatedly, is how you win championships.
100% great move there from McNeil, and I expect that Lamborghini to start driving off into the distance. We've seen McNeil do this plenty of times this season. Once he's out in front, he's a very hard man to chase down. Murphy here in 3rd, doing a fantastic job. If he can hold on to that 3rd, he'll be absolutely stoked with that. Make no doubt about it. This car is so hard to drive around here at maximum tanks every lap, because that's the way you've got to drive the Porsche. You've just got to be on the limit the whole time to get a good result. So we've got McNeil, Apreciado, Murphy, Sweeney, Lele, Ellis. Sorry about that, had to sneeze. Ellis, Burton, Monks, Thistlethwaite and Johnson are your 10 at the moment. And whoa, I'll tell you what, that was a bit of a late dive there, but thought better of it. Just pulled the nose back in. And just, yeah, Apreciado is just a little bit of a cork in the ocean at the moment. Ooh, who's that? I'm getting myself mixed up.
Lele and Sweeney, yeah.
Sweeney decided he's going to try and go on the outside. No, that's not
and
bad.
we are hearing from chat that Holmes got a 15 seconds of damage from the start of the race there. So him outside of the 11, he'll be pushing that car to its limits with the damage he's got, trying to push for the top 10. Still setting like high speeds, and he's still keeping up with the Aston on the straights, which, to be fair, is not hard to do. But yeah, he's doing some great racing, and we're seeing Burden trying to catch up, and Sweeney just losing a few more positions as the Porsche gets past of Alice. And it looks like Burden's going to also take advantage of that, but backs out of it very last second.
Oh, no!
And there's a tap! There is a
It was
tap
just
from
half
Burden.
committed from Burton. He just did not commit to the move, and Nathan, our race 1 winner, just took advantage of that, got 2 overtakes done, and now he moves himself back up into the top 6 with some more moves to make. But it was just half committed. It was half-hearted from Burton. As always, see, this will wait, have a massive moment. That invites Johnston now into this as they head through DuPont, and not able to make anything work there. Can Johnston, as McNeil's fastest lap and is running away as you predicted. But yeah, just half committed, had a snap, and then backed out of it, and then just committed to it again on the apex. Just got back on the throttle, and it just caused an incident that was necessary.
That will be a Hadlin. As we are looking at Thistlewade at the moment, currently in 7th position. Hopefully going to have a little bit better race too, as we're on board now with Josh Holmes. He's chasing Johnson. They come through this absolute Mickey Mouse section. I hate this part of the track so much.
Everybody does.
Yep, I feel like this corner here, you never feel like you get right, ever. It's always, oh,
My
gone a bit
second least favourite.
Yeah, and then you go a bit early and you spin out. It happens all the time.
At least it isn't Shanghai turn 1. At least it's better than that snaily corner.
And you will see Holmes, even with the damaged Lamborghini, will be able to probably make a pass on the Aston here if he could keep the speed when he gets out of that draft. But it doesn't look like he's going to be able to keep the speed. It's just that damage is holding him back just enough that he, once he's out of that slipstream, it's just gone. All of that speed is gone. And Burden taking advantage of Holmes going wide there.
Then Holmes says, oh, I'll have that back, thank you.
Side by side racing.
Between
Jesus.
the Mustang and the Lambo.
Oh. Look at this side by side. This is. I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I was gonna say it, but I didn't want to call it out.
Be the most committed here into the apex. Holmes tries to now cut back underneath towards Virage, and it. I'm gonna say what you weren't gonna say. It's been great racing between these two.
And
watch it backfire now. Oh, that's Ellis slow.
Is it Reap?
Oh,
yeah, that was the slide I was talking about. And yeah, there we go as Holmes sticks behind Burton. And yeah, it was a great little battle through the 3rd sector. You don't see it often, especially between a Lambo and a Mustang. It is probably the most unexpected combo to see, as we now see Murphy going around the outside of Appreciato, who has now the inside for the next part. Appreciato is going to cut back and get a good exit onto the straight, but you still have to negotiate the snail of a corner onto the Mistral that is Lacole, and now they head onto the straight. Appreciato will have slipstream, but Nathan also sitting right there in P4. Look at that Mustang go. It is just flying along, and it is going to clear the Aston like it is absolutely nothing, and it might close up to the Porsche here as well. It is going and going and going, and look at that Mustang go. Will he be able to get 2 down the 1 straight? We actually see Murphy defend here. Nathan goes to the outside, isn't quite able to get 2 down 1 straight, but that straight line speed on the Mustang is just something that, oh, it is just overpowered.
Overpowered, I love it.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a better word. Just looking at it, it just disappeared. As here's the move from Murphy on Appreciato. So he takes the inside. This is what McNeil did in the last one. Takes the inside, doesn't quite get to the apex first, and then sails around the outside. A bit of wheel rubbing there, but overall hard racing, fair racing, and it was a good move there from Murphy. And then that's when Nathan decided to pounce. But yeah, that Mustang is just so easy. He just picked up the throttle and disappeared.
Didn't realise how good of an overtaking spot that was over there in the 1st sector.
As we are on board with Monks at the moment in the Big Bad Mustang. He's currently up to third here, so he could get second position here. Look, I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't think he's catching Austin. I think Austin's put the jets on and said, I am out of here. Now, if you want to see funny, watch this. If Monks gets a good drive out of, pardon me, sorry about that, out of Saint-Bumir, you watch this Mustang absolutely munch his Porsche up for breakfast.
Oh, is the Porsche that a wobble too?
Yep, that's not going to help. Here we go. One Porsche croissant coming up for one Mustang. Yum, 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 yum. Add some chocolate sauce, add some butter, and away we go.
Chocolate sauce and butter, that's an interesting combination.
Oh, anything good is good on a croissant.
True.
Jam,
Is...
ham and cheese.
Yeah, you got a point to be fair. As Nathan just made it look so easy. It was before even 200 meters on the straight. Like, it was already clear as we see Ellis versus Lely here. And as they run towards the straight, the first straight that is. And, wow.
Oh, wow.
No. That's a really interesting
Ooh.
incident, and that is going to be a big penalty.
Oh, that, I don't want to preempt penalties, but that could have an SG in front of it.
Yeah, that was just a straight line pit maneuver. So we see another replay angle of that. And yeah, Breno just gets tapped around holding a complete straight line, and Lily just drove into the side of him. So maybe join the police force if you want to pull off pit maneuvers like that one.
Oh. That's looking at. As Monks here in the Mustang.
Definite promotion for Monks. Look, the fastest lap again, and there is a car currently off the side of the track. Who is that?
It's Holmes.
It is Holmes.
Damage has gotten to Holmes. I'm guessing there was another incident involving him after. There's a yellow flag on the track for Holmes, who's currently sitting in the middle. And there is the penalty for JC, a 15-second penalty, obviously, for the collision at between turn 1 and 2. For dangerous driving. So I'm going to guess that was just the reverse that he did instead of holding the brakes.
And McKellar gets a drive through. Wow. That's pretty significant, but we are looking at Lele here on Appreciado. And gets it done. I think it looked like Appreciado just backed out of that one a little bit. As we are on board here with Holmes. Now we're going to watch this straight. Oh, this looks hardware related. I think it is.
I think his brakes stopped working because he was still rolling there. And look as it blends into the red of the side of the track.
I know. It's funny that, isn't it?
It's weird. JC picking up 30 seconds worth of penalties due to the collision and the dangerous driving. So that's, even though he's all the way at the back of the pack, that's going to probably still do a bit of damage to his results for the championship.
Certainly won't help. He's currently fourth in the championship, so that will look like he might drop some points there. And McNeil, with that issue with Holmes, is probably going to extend his championship lead, and it's getting into that territory now where I wouldn't say it's wrapped up because anything can happen in a long season. We've got 8 rounds, but it's getting to that point where it could be just too much to do for the rest of these drivers.
This is great racing. Well, and McNeil has, as we see Lele make a pass on Appreciado right there, going in for the straight, and the Mustang of Burton's going to take advantage of the situation and try to get around, which he probably doesn't need to do it because he's going to absolutely destroy them down the straight anyway, if he can get on the track before the driving part. But yes, so looks like he's going to overtake Appreciado as well, and possibly if he can keep up the speed, which it looks like he probably will, is going to also catch up to Lele and take another position, I'd assume. Oh no, Lele's heaps ahead. I didn't realize how far Lele took off there. As he gets to stop and go.
Yeah. Well, he gets to stop and go with that. No, that wouldn't be for the straight line collision, being lap 4, as Walsh goes to the outside of Horsberg there. And now, tries to cut back underneath it. Bousset wasn't able to pull that one off, and now Boxall trying to get involved as well in the Mustang, but doesn't quite have the grip in the third sector. As we see, Walsh is just a lot later on the brakes through a couple of these corners here in Sector 3 as well. Boxall really struggling to drive that. You can see the Mustang just sliding the entire way through Bousset and then Bendor. And now Walsh still just sticking behind here on the McLaren, as now they're going to have the run onto the straight. We could see a turn 1 overtake. They are very close together as they gain in a straight line. McLaren versus Ferrari versus Mustang, but I don't think it's going to be close enough to see a move down into turn 1, but Boxall was considering it. McDowell also sitting in the background there, hoping they continue to fight, because then he could find himself with another position to gain, as we see Lilly there in to serve to stop go 10, but Walsh is just going to close up a lot here in the braking zone. Oh no, Boxall's overshot it. That was nearly a massive crash, and now they've got to watch the rejoin as they come clobbering over the curb. So nearly a massive incident there. Boxall just not getting it right under brakes, but now we head on the straight, as there's also a train right in front of these guys with Ellis and Sweeney and Johnston, but we're going to stay with Walsh. So we head down the straight, slipstream, gaining and gaining and gaining right underneath the rear diffuser of that McLaren. There's the replay. Wow, good save there. That is good reactions to dodge that. But now Walsh pulls to the left-hand side as they head towards scene. Will Walsh be able to commit to this one all the way around the outside, as we have the McLaren on the inside? There's a big slide there from Walsh, but he keeps it together and gets the move done while drifting. And that was a great move there from Walsh. We've seen it a few times in this race. Drivers going for a move on the outside of scene and then having a snap at the mid-corner. But a lot of them don't end up keeping the position. And that time he kept the minimum speed up even with a slide. So just overtaking in style, as we now move to Johnston versus Sweeney, as they head through Latour. And just different line choices. I always find it interesting to see the different line choices between drivers when they're racing each other. I don't know if you guys do as well, but I think it's just a very telling detail of a driver's driving style.
Definitely. Couldn't agree more. It's one of my... I've got a few favourite things about GT3 racing, but that's one of them, different driving lines. And my favourite thing, though, of course, is where different cars make their speed. It's something that just fascinates me about, Johnson just slides the bum out in the Aston. Easy to do. Aston... Actually enjoying the Aston. Been taking it for a spin lately, and it's getting under my skin.
It's the Aston.
A nice car.
Is the best with the TC, in my opinion. It's its traction control is elite, which makes it perfect for cornering and being able to hold it here. I think we get a replay of this. I believe it's the first incident of the race too. A good angle to see exactly what happened.
Tap there.
There's the tap. Oh, okay. That's why there was a drive-through there for McCullough, I believe it was.
And then we see Johnston there also getting a drive-through for a lap 6 collision. So that is going to hurt Johnston and put Sweeney right ahead, as we were about to see a battle between the 3 Aston Martins. So... that is a bit unfortunate, but if Sweeney can close up to Appreciato, we could still see a fight between some Astons. And then we have Breno 2.1 seconds and still dropping, as we see Scanlon on the outside of Reynolds there, and now JC trying to get involved as they head into Bousset. Who's going to be the most committed? JC holds the brakes a bit too long, has a bit of a snap, and then finds himself back alongside towards the second apex. They go. JC has to take all the curb at his dispensers. Now we head into Bendor. Scanlon holds the inside. JC's going to try and get the cutback and the good exit as they head towards Latour, but nothing to go for at this corner. Unlike McAdams thinking last night, JC is actually going to stay behind and play it safe, as the Turkish Delight GTR definitely more brain than you'd think looking at a car like a Turkish Delight car. I had to get the jab in there. I had to get the jab in there.
Jab, that was a
JC.
drive-by.
Do want to point out really quickly again, McNeil holding a very, very high lead against the Ford Mustangs, with still Monks with the fastest lap, but there is a 4-second lead from that Lamborghini, which I assume will drop down to probably a 3 along the straight. But they're doing well, and Murphy only 2 seconds behind the Mustangs are still holding on strong in that Porsche, which is amazing for a track like this. And those two Astons obviously showing their power in those turning sectors with Sector 1 and Sector 2, where it's all about how fast you can get those cars around the turns. And with the, as I was saying earlier, the traction control in these cars, you can take these long, hard right turns at probably the fastest speed out of most of the cars on this track. Which is where they become probably the most powerful car out there. Where we're seeing Sweeney has caught up to Apreciado and will be going for an overtake soon, I assume, as he takes a wider line, probably hoping to get a bit more speed on exit, as he does, but still gets held up by the Valvoline car. And you can see him just peeking, looking for any opportunity, trying not to do a center and look for any gap, because you don't want any gap, but you do want a good one. And he's going to take the wider line, hoping again to get a better exit, which it does look like he has, maybe, but it is Aston Racing, which means they are pretty even, so there won't be much of a difference. Still dropping a 154 during race, which is not bad at all.
Very good racing between Apreciado and Sweeney there. Of course, a bit of acid on action. Acid on action. Say that 3 times fast. But we've seen with the Aston as well, once it gets on the Mistral 280 and it hits the proverbial brick wall, but Apreciado's doing a great job here, currently in 5th position, so it's a really nice drive. He's putting together a really solid race here. I don't want to preempt things, but this I reckon might be a championship winning drive from McNeil. This is just a bit of a muscle flex, and it's sort of saying, look, I've been in the lead of this championship, years are all tripping over each other, I'm going to run away with this thing. This has been an awesome drive, as we are on board with Sweeney at the moment. They're going to go side by side down the Mistral, and Apreciado, I tell you what, he is a heads-up driver. Was he going to have a conversation about this? No, he is going to get the elbows out and have a go, but then just runs it a little bit wide and thinks better of it. Probably thinks, you know what, Sweeney's silver driver, I'm Pro-Am. I'm currently leading Pro-Am because we don't count Monks. So he's probably just happy where he is, and sometimes you've just got to be that little bit smarter and think with your race brain, and just be, anytime you're in the top 10 in sprints, you're having a good day.
So to be a Pro-Am in the top 10 among all these pro and silver drivers, that's an achievement among itself. And same with that amateur of Williams, who is currently in 13th. That I'd be very proud of being in that position with so many, as I was saying before, silvers and pro drivers within the split. Like, to be up that high you're in a good position. I'd be happy with a result like that so far.
It's great.
Yeah, Joe is really having some good pace out there tonight. I know that him and Nathan Monk, they were practicing together a lot. As I did mention Nathan practicing a lot for this race in particular, and Joe Williams was there for quite a bit of it as well. So they're definitely putting in the work, those two, all of the work you could expect. Same with Ben Curtis, or as some may know him, Diabol's also sitting there in P14, one of his better races this season. Those three, I think of anybody, I saw them in the practice servers the most, and in the Fruit Bowl France server as well.
I love the team name of Diabol's livery. TC11 Driver School 1. It's a great name.
That is, I love looking at the names sometimes of the teams. They surprise me with some of the names, and I love them all.
And he is running TC11. There you go.
Yeah, there was no lie.
He's a man of his word. I like it.
I guess we'll find out if there is the. I guess we'll find out if there is the driver skill of 1, or if the driver skill might be a little bit better.
Back up with Alice at the moment, currently in 7th in a very second-hand looking Porsche. I can tell you from experience of racing the Porsche many times, that is not how the front bonnet is meant to sit. It's meant to be flush, so that of course will be creating a little bit of aero drag. Not that the Porsche needs any more aero drag, but you know.
I think how the just quickly, I think how the bonnet looks of the Porsche is purely dependent on the driver behind the wheel. Because when I used to drive the Porsche, I found that bonnet being popped up all the time.
That sounds like a bit of an issue of skill.
Yes,
Skill issue?
yes it was. Yes, it
skill
was.
issues.
I haven't driven the Porsche in a while, but yeah, Breno is actually having a brilliant drive in this race. That was
that a car
someone off.
beside the road?
That was the safety car Mercedes, was it? No, it was Murphy.
That's Murphy.
As we go to Murphy here, that's
that's
the
the
straight line
replay.
incident. Yeah, Murphy after being tagged around. That's what I was about to comment on. He's having a great race after being tagged around in a straight. That is huge damage on that Porsche. After his incident with Lele, and he's just came back and now in P5, taking advantage of Murphy's little moment there. I wonder if we'll see a replay of that. But yeah, Murphy drops to P10 as we now go back to Breno, who's sizing up a move here on Appreciado. This will put him inside the top 4 if he gets this move done as they head towards the F1 chicane, but they blow straight through it in this layout. Towards the end of the Mistral they go. Towards Scene. Will Breno be able to close up? No, the Porsche, especially with damage, is not going to be able to stretch its legs in a straight line enough to pull that one off, but I'm sure Breno will find an opportunity when it's given to him.
Definitely. Breno definitely knows that he's got his head around his Porsche. He's a very quick Porsche driver. As we are looking here at Lunchy, what's happened to Lunchy here? So he's turned in and Porsche things.
Porsche? Did a Porsche?
Yep.
Insane. That would not be a happy situation for Chris Murphy. Losing a little bit of that traction there in that beautiful red car.
Breno closing down again on Appreciado down to turn 1. Could we see a bit of a late braking maneuver? Bit too far back, but if Breno can get a good run here off of turn 1 and now over the crest into 2, we could see a move at the right-left snail, but no, we won't. Breno just a little bit deep into 1 and then too much curb on the right hand.